Hello and welcome back to the Behind the Strength podcast.
where we improve your health, wealth, and peace of mind. I'm Carlo Balagassi.
I'm Christian Alvarez, and today we are talking about the DNA of a great trainer. So for all you people out there who like to work out and have a personal trainer, or any athletes that have trainers that are with them, these are the common characteristics you'll see and will all be relative to a great trainer. All the things that we'll be speaking about today.
Or if you are a trainer or thinking of actually becoming a trainer, if you have that in your head and you're mulling over it, you want to listen to this because we're going to teach you the ins and outs and how to become a great trainer, not only for yourself but for other people as well.
So we'll get right into it.
Wait, my question is, why should I listen to you, Christian?
Because I've had extensive years of personal training,
So
two
yeah,
decades worth.
Why don't you tell people what the hell you're about?
2 decades worth of personal training, as well as leading personal trainers. I've developed, many hundreds of personal trainers over the years. Some who have become very, very successful in this industry. I not only teach the training field, but I also teach the sales field and how to maintain business and stay in this business over a long period of time. So let's get right into it. Number one thing your trainer should be looking for: do they ask you about your goals? Is your training catered towards those goals?
So it seems very simple, doesn't it?
Very, but it's not very common.
It's surprisingly not very common, especially the times where we sit down with, just say, a new client who's been with another personal trainer before in the past or recently, and the surprising amount of people who are training specifically for the trainer's strengths.
Yes.
That's really it.
Yes.
And what do I mean by that? For instance, you've probably heard many times here, oh, my trainer's getting me to do 8 to 10 reps, 4 sets. We're going heavy right now. I'm like, wait, your goal is for fat loss, and you've been training with this person for the last year, and you're still doing this?
You're still doing the same thing, yeah.
Yeah. And how many times have they been they recommend eating like a bodybuilder, all this
Of course. Ideally, you should be presented a plan. So there's something that we use called periodization when it comes to training. The non-scientific term for it, it's just a blueprint. It's a plan. Your trainer should have a game plan for you in the next coming weeks, in the next coming months. It should be pretty flexible. Nothing that's set in stone, but there should be a plan from getting from point A to point B of your goal. So if you currently have a trainer, I would be asking them for a game plan. And I would be looking for training programs that are constantly switching up, that are constantly getting improving, that are constantly getting better, right?
Could we give them like an example? Say I'm a new person. I haven't worked out in 3 years.
Number one thing is
what should I expect from my trainer?
Well, definitely they shouldn't be killing you.
Okay.
You shouldn't be leaving the gym super exhausted or going at 95% of your maximum.
Yeah.
You should be going at maybe at a 60% range.
Yeah.
Adaptation is the key to this. So activation of muscle, getting your breathing intact, building a little sweat up, getting your endurance to go, like your muscular endurance as well as your cardiovascular endurance to improve. But I'm not looking to kill you. Any trainer that says, "Oh man, I made my client throw up and wipe them off the floor," you're not a good trainer.
No.
I'm sorry.
I mean, in context, if
context.
it's a high level athlete and that guy wants a serious conditioning session, fine, let's brag about that.
But there's times and places.
Not every client is that type of client, nor is every client that type of person who's motivated through just dismembering them and fucking killing them every session, right?
Exactly. So this leads us straight to number 2. Do they take your current fitness into consideration? So your current state of fitness. So say, yes, I was training hard for the last few years, but I haven't trained in a year.
Yeah.
Are you going to start training me like an athlete right away, or start training me like a bodybuilder or powerlifter? Probably not a very smart idea, because no matter what, I haven't activated my body, my mind, the neurological system in that way in such a long period of time.
That's an interesting point there. Like the fact that you're priming the mind to start pushing a little bit more to kind of undergo your stress as well, because you're gonna have to undergo a certain level of stress. Some people just can't handle that much stress right away.
It's funny you bring that up, because that leads us to number 3. They kind of go hand in hand, because alongside with taking your fitness consideration, your current state of fitness, they should take any good coach, and I say coach or trainer, this applies for both, should be able to read and be in sync with you enough to know how your body is, or you mentally are, or you emotionally are that day.
Yes. What do you mean by that?
There's sometimes, hey, listen, You can't expect your client to go 100% hard every single day of the week. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Especially during like the later parts of the week.
You have to be able to read your client. If they have worked hard all week long, 4 days straight, 3 days straight, and they're training again with you, right? You should be able to dial it down a little bit.
So, okay, how do you now then, saying that, how do you know when to switch gears from, I need to give this person tough love because this person keeps making excuses, for instance.
Number one,
and then shifting to be like, hey, Christian, wait, let's chill for a second. This is not you.
the number one thing is looking at the consistencies of a client, but that's being in tune with them as a person to begin with.
Okay.
So for all you trainers out there who just cross your arms or you're just leaning on a machine and you're not actually physically in tune and checked in with your client, you'll never know this because you have to know their consistencies. If this client is normally on time, if they're ready to go and warmed up on the treadmill or whatever, and they're already stretched out before you get to them on a usual basis.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and
a great client right
and they're
there.
performing well, right? And they're performing well. They do their exercise. Next thing you know, they start missing workouts. They start becoming late, right? They start, and that becomes infrequent. Those are things where you got to give them a kick in the ass, and you don't give them a kick in the ass a month later. You do it that same week.
Yeah, you have to call them out right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away. You
Because
got to catch
essentially
that.
that's what you're there for.
Right away.
Because they're so used to giving themselves an out negotiation. That's what I think that's the next one we should actually talk about. Stop negotiating with yourself. Your success isn't negotiable. They're used to negotiating with themselves. Oh, you know what? This time around, I'm too tired. I'll just do an extra, exercise this week, which never fucking happens.
Right.
Right. So you're there to kind of call them out too, right?
Yes.
To reel them back in.
And if you're looking at things of like say how their heart rate is or even just the look of if a person is like pale down to their face already, they haven't ate all day, they've had a long stressful day at work, they've been yelled at. Do you think they want to be pushed any harder that day?
No.
Probably not.
I think that's a very important part. Like your first few training sessions is you two feeling each other out, finding out what really. First of all, your first session before you even train that person, you should already find out what their why is, right? The real reason, not just the goal.
No, what's going to keep them there?
What the hell is I want to be able to survive long enough to see my kids, get married or something, which was one of my clients' goal. So these things that you have to really extract from them when they feel that they're going to give up, right? Because your why, anything that supersedes your personal need, and now the goal is more of like, this is for my family, they're more than likely going to, snap back into it.
Oh, for sure.
The vanity goals, it's tough for people to get back because it's too easy.
Yes.
It's too easy to walk away from.
You definitely have to be in tuned enough. And when we say in tune here, it's not just body, it's also mentally enough with your client to know what triggers them. Which actually leads us to number 4, and that is being, is your trainer empathetic towards you? Say you're having, aches and pains and whatever. Do they know what that feels like?
Yeah.
Have they been through it? Have they put themselves through the workouts that they're giving you?
Yep.
Do they know what it feels like to twist your ankle in an agility exercise? Do they know what it feels like to be extremely exhausted after doing a hit style Tabata training?
Yep. Do they remember what it feels like to first pick up a fucking weight,
And
push
be
it with
sore.
your muscles, and then be sore for the next 3 or 4 days after just
Exactly.
doing like 6 reps?
Yeah,
2
and
sets?
at that point in time when a person first starts working out or working out again, because they're so overloaded and sore and whatever, the body's natural reaction is to swell. That automatically turns a person off because they think, wait, I went in here to feel healthier and to feel better, but I feel worse.
Yeah.
So just on a side note, for those of you who are starting back, and I know it's going to be January soon and you're going to want to start working out again, it's okay to go through those growing pains while you start back. Don't let that turn you off because there's a certain point in time, which, we can particulate on another podcast, where soreness is okay.
Yes.
But muscle soreness and learning how to distinguish that. Number 5, do they actually teach you? Are there takeaways from each lesson, from each training session?
Or do they overteach? Which is
Or they
fucking
overteach.
annoying. I hate
You don't
that
want to
shit.
be a science nerd. I hate to say the term. With your client. Your client doesn't give a shit. Here at SNU, we teach our trainers 2 to 3 key points.
Yeah.
Teach a client, not enough, just enough to teach them and to get it into their head of the form and the technique of the exercise or whatever you're trying to accomplish. But not enough to overload them and say, hey, do this, and you have to technically do that, and rhyme off every muscle in its scientific form. There's got to be teachables, and it's got to be takeaways.
You're trying to teach a child calculus. That's
Yes.
exactly
Yeah,
what's happening.
yes.
Just because you have the knowledge and know-how of what these insertions are in muscles and what
Yeah.
they do, you think a person working 9 to 5 gives a shit?
Yeah, no.
They're there. If I listen, Christian, I don't give a shit what my muscles do. Fine, I want to learn, but calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Just train me,
Train me.
please.
Train
Get me to my goals.
Yeah, give me
I
a
mean,
teachable, give me a takeaway. Done.
as we get through our program, months later, I'm teaching a bit more, teaching a bit more, teaching a bit
Yes.
more.
Yes, you're constantly filling a little bit into the cup.
Yeah, it's like a
know?
curriculum.
Which is it goes right into number 6 is does your trainer actually spot and palpate? Number 1, spotting is not lifting the weight for the client. There's got to be an even balance. It should be enough. Spotting, guys, should be enough of a help in your last rep or two, with no transition or how should I say this? So there should be no deviation in your movements at all.
No,
So
none.
basically, that trainer is there to help you move that weight through the same amount of time and through the same amount of repetitions you were trying to target, but not do the set for you.
So I'm a firm believer of, when a new person learns a new move, right? Or even an advanced person learns a more advanced move. I let them go through it, for the first couple of sets, just so their body could get,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get the motion
No,
perfectly.
definitely
It's
not.
mind,
Yeah.
that repetition.
Mind
Muscle connection, get them through it. That's why you always start with a lighter weight and then, start increasing the intensity. But then there's a certain point now where, okay, you should get this now. You're not getting it. So I'm going to be more stringent on
Yes.
keeping your form straight.
Yes. Hands on the client, but eyes on the client.
Yes.
And we're not talking about just paying attention to whatever muscle you're working. Take it even a step back. You could still have your hands on them, or you could take it off and watch what the whole picture is looking like.
Yeah.
Because guess what? This person may be getting up and down in their squats, and you're standing right behind them, but they're deviating left to right on their way up.
Yeah, they're doing the hip.
Yeah, they're doing
thing, or
this left,
they're
right,
lifting
and by
their
the time they
toes.
get up, they do the hip hinge into the front.
Yep.
You got to watch all that stuff.
Yeah, you condition that long enough, you're gonna have serious problems, man.
Exactly. Number 7, do they encourage you and motivate you while being honest? So
Yeah.
I'm not talking about cheer you on when you have a 10-pound fat loss goal and you've gained 5 pounds. I'm talking about being honest with you and saying, hey, listen, man, you're going real south. We started training about a month and a half ago and you've gained 2 pounds. What's going on here?
See, I don't know. I feel like a lot of trainers or a lot of people don't like to be upfront with people. They like to
That's
coddle.
human nature.
They like to coddle people. What
Politically
do you?
incorrect or correct? Or,
I mean, what is your take on that, man? Like, do you?
hey, man, be
how do
honest.
Man, I agree with that.
You're not fucking committed. You're not fucking committed.
Yeah.
You need to commit yourself to this, or you gotta go. That's just honestly, it's because to me, it's why waste my time? Why waste yours? And also a big thing is, listen, if you're doing well, I'm gonna tell you you're doing well. You're doing amazing for where you're at right now. You're ahead of your goal, but now's not the time to be sitting back just because you got ahead. Because things slow down the more you train, right?
Yeah.
The response of your muscles in your body start to slow down. So why not take the advances while you're getting them, right? Why not take the progress while you're getting it? And if you're not making progress with your client, you have to be human enough and honest enough with them to say, hey, listen, this is not working right now. Either 1, make a new game plan, or 2, get a new fit for them.
And it's the same thing with trainers. Like, just because you hire a personal trainer, which is a great thing for anybody, for a new person, for a person who needs to get to the next level, it's not the personal trainer's job to get your ass up and get you going.
Yeah, to get you to work out,
yeah.
to get you to eat well, to get you to, right?
It's there to guide you, to nurture your, to put fuel to a fire, like I said, but it's not their job to take you and fucking work out with you and fucking lift the weights for you.
1000%.
Right? It's kind of like, hey, you have to be knocking on the gym door and be like, yo, let's start our training session, right? You have to be bugging them.
There's a two-way thing that I have to say about that. To the trainers out there, you're not meant to be the star. You're meant to be Yoda.
Yes.
You're meant to be the guide, the teacher.
Yeah.
To the clients out there, you're supposed to be our star. You're supposed to be the Luke Skywalker to this, right? We're not there to shine, and trainers, your program shouldn't be there to make you shine, because automatically, if you deliver great results, that will make you shine.
It's like you're letting somebody down who's there for you.
Yes,
You know what
yes.
I mean? Like, it's not about the money or
Yeah,
anything.
no,
It's like,
they're
yo,
there for you to get you your goals.
We're both in agreement that, yo, we could tackle this goal together. Let's
yep.
do this, right?
Yep.
So if you have to respect the other person's knowledge and time that they're spending with you, because that's valuable.
Yes.
Like the valuable knowledge, like you have to think about it. The trainer put themselves, hopefully, put themselves through hours and hours, hours of training and pain and learning and making mistakes with their own
working
body.
on their craft.
And now they're breaking down your timeline so you could be more efficient in your goals.
Yes.
Because now after all this stuff that they did
Went
wrong,
they can
all
get
the
it right
knowledge,
with you.
they could get it right away with you. They
Yes.
know you. They could see it from the angles that you will never be able to see. So you have to respect that hustle on their end, because they're there for you.
Of course.
You have to show up for you too, though.
Yep. Number 8, do they work around your injuries and limitations? Do they offer alternate exercises? And not even offer alternate exercise. As a trainer, if you're looking at something and it's just not working, even after a couple of reps or a set or two of it or whatever, listen, you make the call. Your client shouldn't have to tell you. You have to make that call. If a client has an injury or an ache and pain, you have to make that call.
I think this goes back to, the knowledge base too, right? Yeah, like, yes, I'm very, the blue collar, white collar type jobs, right? I'm very like, you have to baby blue that shit. You have to, it's blended. Like, hard, blue collar, hard work ethic, throwing down, going all in on your workouts, but being knowledgeable in your shit too, like extremely knowledgeable. But on the other hand, not being so nerdy that you kind of disconnect from everybody.
1,000%.
But in this case, you should be knowledgeable.
Yes.
Especially when somebody is giving you, all their time and effort and feedback, saying, "Hey, I'm feeling some sort of pain.
Something in my leg or something in my back."
The last thing you want to do is, "Hey, don't worry about it. Just no pain, no gain."
pain, no
bullshit,
gain.
which is fucking stupid.
Yeah, and on the reverse side, like again, we said that the accountability is also on the trainee, where you should be able to communicate that to your trainer, and you should communicate that. Don't think that it's all, hey, no pain, no gain. Because if your lower back is fried after every session and it's swollen every night and you could barely get up and, lie down,
there's a problem.
There's a problem, and you should be saying something. You should be able to communicate that to your trainer, and they should be able to revise things or make the call of, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this right now. Which leads us into our next point. Does your trainer communicate with your therapists?
Do you even have a constant therapist to look at your body, right?
We do. So our trainers actually communicate with the therapist. If you see somebody here for training or for therapy, they actually communicate together hand in hand, and they're a team. Yeah. So basically, ideally, as you're going through, say, your rehab or your prehab, they will also guide the trainer, and the trainer will also say, hey, these are my limitations for this person, or these are my building blocks for this person to get up to that level.
Yeah.
And no matter where you are, who you are, they should be communicating. A responsible trainer should be communicating with any therapist involved in your program.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're taking care of one thing. The person's anatomy, their physiology. You're taking care of all that.
It's
take
pretty
care of it
much
responsibly.
It's just like in the car world, the design and engineering have to match together, right? That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, the design and the actual functionality of this car.
That's the thing. That's why our concept works so well, right?
Number 10, do they keep you accountable to your workouts and your eating habits? Trainers, you have to keep your client accountable. Trainees, you have to keep your trainer accountable too.
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? It has to be that way.
Accountability, yeah.
Right? Like accountability, like that's what you're there for each other.
Yeah.
Your responsibility as a trainer is to show up for your client and to make sure you deliver the results that you promised them or the workouts that you told them you'd give them. Clients, it's your responsibility to show up, to do your workouts on your own, to eat well on your own, because you know what? It's very irresponsible for you as a client to be eating garbage food and junk food while your trainer is putting his all time and effort into your program.
Well, that's the thing, accountability. The program itself, how are you even getting a program from your trainer?
Yeah.
Is your trainer, if you're working out with your trainer once or twice a week or even 3 times a week, is there a program that they give you on the other days you're supposed to work out? Because I'm pretty sure you should work out more than once or twice a week.
Yes.
Right? Is that happening?
Yeah.
And if they're not, then you're just there. You're just paying for babysitting.
Yes.
If you think about it.
Yeah. Guys, overall, if you summarize these 10 things, it all comes down to communication. Communication and accountability are the 2 key things here, because one, as a trainer and as a trainee, you are now entering a relationship. Like in any relationship, communication or good communication is a key factor, and holding each other accountable to those things and deliver. You just have to deliver your end, one delivers their end, and I guarantee you both will come out with equally a success in the program, right?
One thing before we go, and I want to mention this to anybody who's thinking of training or who's been a trainer for a bit. If you're in this The only reason that you're not going to succeed as a trainer is you're doing this for yourself. Just because you succeeded in losing weight or getting bigger or getting stronger
This isn't
or
about you
getting
anymore.
ripped on your own merit, that doesn't mean that you should be a trainer. The question you have to ask yourself is, do I give a fuck about other people's success
Amen.
more than mine? Do I care
Amen.
that much about people and their goals and their success that it's going to irk me that I can't figure it out?
Amen.
Because there's going to be times where a client does all the right things, supposedly, and nothing's moving. And it's going to be up to you to figure it the fuck out
Yep.
and push through that boundary, because this is what you're here for.
Yeah, and if that may take some more education or learning on your part, or if that may take some dissecting of their program or changing things around in their plan, so be it.
Yeah, man.
You have to care enough.
The best
Straight up.
trainers in the world start off giving a shit.
Yeah, that's number one thing.
And that's it. You're
That's
in
it.
the people business,
Yeah,
not
that's
the
it.
fitness
You're
business.
not the fitness business, you're in the people business.
Don't ever forget that.
Amen. Thank you very much for listening to us today. Hope you got a lot of value off that. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please email us.
At bts@strengthenyou.com. That's Bobby Terry Sandy at strength-n-u.com.
Please follow us, refer us to other members or to other people that you know, and look out for our next one. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, man.